Alrighty, Director's Cut, FY 2021, the last of the year. We're in the home straight, mate. Yep. 10-day, well, yeah, close enough. We're nearly done.
Nearly there.
Feels like it's been a relatively long year.
It has been a long year. I don't think it feels like it has been a long year.
Yes, yeah. Well, I thought we'd mix it up.
Okay.
Instead of being all serious.
What do you got for me?
And well, instead of being all serious and doing the usual, so we'll do the rates update, we'll do the property update, but I just thought I'd throw a quiz in there for you.
Okay.
Right. So 3 quick questions.
All right.
Related to finance.
Okay.
In some way, shape or form. We always tell our clients that they should know their numbers, so I want to see if you know your numbers.
Okay. Right.
How many days in lockdown in Melbourne in FY 2021? I'll make it multiple choice for you. 88, 108 or 138?
Okay, I'll go 108. It felt like a long time.
It was, and it was longer than 100. It was 138. So it's the first one, 138. Okay. Now, we've seen banks in particular, or the majors, start to move back into this personal financial management space. Money management, budgeting, tracking. Okay. So I did a little search in the App Store, right? Excluding bank apps. Yep. But I did a search.
Including our one?
No, not including ours, because that's number 1 in the App Store. Okay. How many apps under personal financial management are in the App Store? 32, 52, or 102?
Wow. I'll go 30, the 31, whatever that was.
32?
32.
Another one wrong, 52.
Wow.
Not exactly shooting the lights out yet. No. It has been a long year. All right, this was a headline. Property prices slumped in Melbourne in in calendar year 2020. So I'm mixing it up a bit here. Right. So from January 2020 to December 2020, Melbourne metro property prices slumped. How much did they slump by? 2%, 5%, or 10%?
If they slumped it, so either 5. I'll go 5%.
Lesson here. See, so that was a headline, slumped, but they only slumped 2%. So, quiz. How many out of 3 did you get right?
None.
None? Okay, well let's hope that FY 2022 is a stronger one for Chris. All right, so we'll address the questions that we always get on a day in, day out basis. Rates, interest rates. Tell us what the outlook is for FY 2022.
Yeah, the number 1 question we get asked is, what's going on with rates? Should I fix my rate? Where are variable rates? The reality is, 4 and 5 year fixed rates have started to trend up again. Probably in the last 3 months, they've started to trend up with some of the big banks, which is typically a leading indicator of what they think rates will do over the long term. Obviously, 1, 2 and 3 year rates have remained relatively stable over that period of time, and they are still sitting a bit under where the variable rate sits at the moment, depending on the fund that you choose. On average, they're sitting under. If you look at the cash rate, there's not much to move there. It's 0.1 at the moment, so there's no leverage there that's going to be provided to the banks to be able to move. So if rates are still going to continue to go down, there's only one way it can come from, and that's largely from the bank's margin. Yeah. Now, I'll give you an idea of the bank's going to reluctantly give up margin.
They're not known to do that. Not known to do that. They're going to try and grab some market share.
And particularly when there's a margin squeeze at the moment. So you might find some will make a play for a space for a period of time to try and reduce the margin to get some market share, as we said. But as a general rule, we think rates are probably where they're going to be, or probably at the lowest they're going to be for a period of time. Question we also get is, should I fix? The answer is really, it largely depends on your individual circumstance. If you're looking for certainty of payment, but you still want flexibility, we have a product that sits in there that provides you certainty of payment and all the flexibility you need to be able to make additional repayments throughout this time. But once again, it depends on your personal circumstance and what you're intending to do with the property. So if you want to understand now is the right time to look at fixing, we've had a lot of inquiry over the last 6 months about our clients doing that, and where appropriate, a number of those clients have looked at the 2 and 3 year fixed rate and taking those options up.
3 certainly one of the most popular fixed rate terms, and as you said, the 1 to 3 years, those fixed rates are sitting below the variable rates. Variable rates 2.5, fixed in the low 2s. So there's a chance to possibly lock something in below what we think the variable rates will get down to.
So please make the call in the next couple of months if you're really interested in doing that. We can talk you through your individual options. Second most important, or the second question we get asked most frequently, is around what's going on with the property prices.
Yeah, property market. Okay, and I'm always hesitant, I've said this, to talk about the property market as a whole, because there's however many different markets across every different state, and what's become really prevalent or obvious has been through COVID, the separation between regional and metropolitan markets in every state of Australia, but in particular Melbourne. If you just think about that slump of 2% that happened in Metro Melbourne, through that same period in regional Vic, people fleeing the town probably had a little bit to do with it, but we saw and grants that were incentivising building in that area, but they grew by 5.5%. So quite a big discrepancy. We've never seen a discrepancy like that between a metro and regional market. But what's the future? Well, if you look at the last 6 months, there's been significant pent-up demand. People in a stronger financial position than what they probably thought they would be because they held onto their jobs. They didn't see a reduction in income. And again, I'm speaking generally. There has been obviously pockets of the population that have done it really, really tough and continue to do it tough. And we probably aren't going to see the full flesh out of that for another 6, 12, maybe even 18 months. Yep. But if we talk in general terms, pent-up demand, property market in Melbourne, Sydney has seen that growth. It's been relatively explosive. I couldn't expect that that's going to continue. That said, the experts turn around and talk about over the next sort of 2 years, anywhere between high single to low double-digit growth each and every year through the rest of 2021, 2022. But if we forget about the experts, because I'm telling you right now, the experts have an amazing ability to just forget about their last prediction and chuck in a new one and move on. So, but if you just took the average growth rate, right, of around about 4.5 or 5% across any type of dwelling, which will mean that it will double in value in every sort of 14 years. If you're a homeowner or you're looking to buy a joint and you're talking about borrowing rates at 2.5% and you're talking about growth rate, an average growth rate of 5%, well, 2.5% on an average property price in Melbourne's 900 grand, you're going to see your average net wealth increase by around about 20 to 25,000 bucks. Yep. That's for your homeowner. If you're an investor, it's probably even more compelling, and we've started to see investors come right back into the market. They definitely went totally left through COVID. But you think about the same thing, even if you use a borrower rate of 3% and you talk about a rental return of around about 2%, you're only having to chuck in 1%. And if that property is going up by 5%, well, you're seeing a net increase in your value, the difference between the two of about 4%. Average property price, 900 grand, that's 35 to 40,000 bucks that you're seeing your net wealth, your assets minus your liabilities, increase without a hell of a lot of risk. Yeah. So just on that premise alone, I would expect that the markets to remain relatively strong until we hit a point where affordability has an impact, or the government turns in or regulators come in and start to slow lending down again like they have done previously and make it a little bit harder for people to borrow. I think that's the primary area where we're going to start to see the market drop back.
Yeah, perfect. So in wrapping up, guys, we just want to say a big thank you to you, our clients, in what was unbelievable, a really frustrating year, a year with a range of uncertainty. And it's not lost on us as a business in FinancePath and our team and the privileged position that we hold in having conversations with you guys on a daily basis. And some of those conversations are quite personal, and some of those conversations you really open up to what you're looking to do and achieve. And we really value that relationship we have with each of you guys. And just want to say thank you very much for allowing us to help guide you, provide some advice and help support you financially in those decisions. We're also really, really proud that as a business we're able to retain all our staff throughout the last 12 months. And equally more importantly, looking at growing the business now, that we've been able to get through that last 12 months of what was COVID and a range of uncertainty. So here's hoping 2022 is looking more positive, no more lockdowns. Let's hopefully that things are a bit more certain for everybody out there. And if you have any questions at all, if you're still uncertain with where you sit in your financial future, please give us a call. More than happy to help and have those conversations.
Cheers, guys.